Week 3 fantasy football, and some of these guys just purely ain't been getting the job done. I want us to build me up to the mountain and make the fantasy playoffs. How am I 0-2? Is it time to panic on these 7 or 8 players in the video today? I'm going to be rating from 1 to 10. 1 being don't panic at all. We're actually going to have a 0 to start the video off as well. And 10 being get this guy off the team, send him to waivers, trade him to Johnny, and take the fab while you still can, because this guy, he stinks. So we're going to be going through a bunch of names today. Name number 1, and please help us out as a small channel. Smash like and subscribe, and it helps us out every single person that likes the video. We're starting things off with, like I said, a 0. And he ain't a 0 because he's trash. He's a 0 because I ain't scared. Week 1, you're looking, oh, 9 points. Oh, that's so good. Listen. He had 9 points week 1. Realistically, he had 2 because he had a rushing touchdown that Mickey Mouse. So Brian Thomas Jr.'s week 1 was 2 points. Week 2 was 9 points, a little bit better. I could care less. I am not concerned that he hasn't been producing from fantasy football. I get it. Diami Brown is involved, and Diami Brown should be somebody that probably is rostered. Maybe his role expands. Again, they gave him a 1-year, $10 million deal, so I expected Diami Brown to have a role in this offense. Travis Hunter, sure, he's getting 6 or 7 targets a game, but he's only averaging 30 receiving yards a game. He's more of a short role. Brian Thomas Jr. has 19 targets through the first 2 weeks of the season. This is giving me deja vu to one other person. Remember that he had 19 targets for the first 2 weeks. We're going to go and pull up that other person that I was saying, please, for the love of God, buy this guy after week 1. Malik Neighbors week 1 came out. He had 5 catches, 70 yards on 12 targets. I said, guys, listen. I know, you're going to think Russell Wilson sucks. I don't care. I could give Malik Neighbors 12 targets, and the majority of the time he's going to bring in at least a good portion of them. Sure enough, week 2, he gets the same amount of targets, but this time he capitalizes some better throws. Week 1, some of the deep balls weren't catchable. So I think we're going to see a bit of a similar trend here with Brian Thomas Jr. If we actually go back up and pull up BTJ, extrapolating back to 2024, take a look. This guy was getting, 10 plus targets a game the final 6 weeks of the year, and he was averaging 19 plus fantasy points per game over the back half of the season. So he's going to be just fine. His target volume, his, target share, everything is already in the right area. It's not like I would be a lot more concerned if he was getting 3 targets a game. He's involved, he's just not producing. It's 2 games, don't worry about it. Terry McLaurin, the first 2 weeks of 2024. Terry McLaurin, what did he do? He was an actual bum. What happened after that? 20, 18, 13. Again, some people just start off slow. And take a look. Terry McLaurin starting off slow. I mean, we're not going over him in this video, but BTJ is a 0 for the panic meter. Chase Brown is the next name here. Now, Chase Brown, you can panic on for a variety of reasons. Reason number 1, he stinks. Reason number 1 is that he has not been producing. Effectiveness has been bad. For the first 2 weeks, averaging 2.5 yards per carry. Not very good. Receiving wise, only 3 targets per game. Look back at last year, he was getting more than that, especially in the middle half of the season in terms of the receiving usage, and his yards per attempt was above 4. So he was averaging 20 plus points per game from weeks 9 to week 17. Now he's averaging just 11 or 12. Reason number 2 is Jake Browning is in at quarterback for the foreseeable. Let's call it the season. He's in there for the season. So Chase Brown, the panic meter is going to be at a 4 out of 10, right? Like, it's not like BTJ. You can't ignore it. I think Chase Brown having the RB1 season winning expectations, I honestly do think that is probably out the door. However, I think he could potentially get more dump downs. And realistically, Taj Brooks is a nobody in this offense. Chase Brown's getting a lot of the snaps. Sure, Samaje Perine has a bit of a receiving role, but realistically, Samaje Perine isn't even relevant enough to be on the site. Go check out Flop Fantasy for free. Appreciate them wanting to use this tool. Chase Brown, 4 out of 10. He should rebound here in the upcoming weeks. I think he'll be just okay. Probably from RB1 to RB2 in terms of expectations. Another fellow Cincinnati Bengal here, T. Higgins. It's getting hot. Time to panic, bro. 7 out of 10 is my rating on T. Higgins, and that might even be too low. I mean, first off, I was fading T. Higgins coming into the year just for the simple fact that this guy only plays 12 games per year if you're lucky. Last year, he missed a lot of time being injured. Now you have the Joe Burrow injury. Ja'Marr Chase is a high reception machine. This guy gets targets, he breaks contact, he gets the yards after the catch. T. Higgins is good. 1A and 2. It's not really a 1A, 1B. It's 1 and 2. But T. Higgins is more of a deep threat, more of a down the field vertical type guy. T. Higgins brings in the jump ball touchdown from Jake Browning in week 2. I'm just not convinced that with Jake Browning at quarterback, I think T. Higgins takes a bigger hit, especially in terms of volatility, than Ja'Marr Chase. T. Higgins is probably going to be a volatile player. I'm panicking. I'm at a 7 or 8 out of 10. I mean, I would try moving him, but his price is so low that no one's going to want him. A.J. Brown is another one where this gets tough. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, we'll talk about them at the same time. A.J. Brown, I'm going to be at a 7 out of 10 panic meter. I don't know what everyone is telling you. For some reason, most people are saying, don't panic on A.J. Brown. How can you not panic? I get it. Last year, this guy was insane. Last year, there was some volatility of 5 points, 11 points, 11 points, 8 points. It's different. His target share last year, even in those games, his target share was above 20%. Even most of them, he was closer to 30%. This guy wasn't targeted at all in week 1. Literally not at all. Week 2, Kansas City Chiefs, 8 targets. But listen, the Eagles are just a not fantasy productive style of football, except for if you're Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley. A.J. Brown can definitely have big games. A.J. Brown definitely will have big games. I think he'll finish in terms of total points as a top 25, top 20 wide receiver. However, it's like T. Higgins. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be a bumpy ride. You're going to lose weeks, and you're going to, I'd rather not have somebody in there where I'm guessing if he gets 20 or if he gets 3 points. Because 20 points isn't as high of a ceiling as I'd rather just take my, 12 points with Marquise Brown in there than AJ. It's just scary to me, right? So AJ Brown is a bit scary, especially with the fact that he came into the season banged up, and I really think that injury is hampering him. So I'm going to put that as a 7 or 8 out of 10. Devontae Smith, I'm panicked about, but the fact that he didn't come into the season with the hamstring injury that AJ Brown came in with, it's a little bit less, and you obviously had to pay a lower price for Devontae Smith, which also makes it better. Probably a 5 or 6 out of 10 panic on Devontae, but I'm worried about A.J. Brown and how he's going to perform. We have 2 rookie running backs to cover next. Omarion Hampton. I'm going to put Omarion Hampton as a 5 out of 10 panic level. He didn't get any usage at all in week 2 versus the Raiders. You had Najee back, and concerningly, Omarion Hampton effectively had a bad fumble. Now, officially, it was Justin Herbert, but if you have eyes, Omarion Hampton's probably also to blame. He wasn't out there for, obviously, as much as he was in week 1 against the Chiefs, and even week 1 against the Chiefs, he had a costly mistake running out of bounds before half, so does he get the coach's trust? This guy has a good prospect profile, he has the draft capital, but Najee Harris is a pest. Now, Omarion Hampton was close to getting a goal line touchdown in week 2 that would have salvaged his week. So I'm not too concerned, but I'm definitely concerned here in the short term. I think we're going to have to see him expand his role, but I think his role is likely to increase as the season goes. But so we had him who's likely to increase, and then we had Trayvon Henderson, who's a bit less likely, right? Ramondre Stevenson and Antonio Gibson both are out-snapping Trayvon Henderson, which is wild, especially in week 2. Gibson was involved. Ramondre has looked decent, which is bad because Trayvon Henderson also looks good, but he's not getting the opportunity. So I think with Trayvon Henderson being on a worse team, worst offense, and it's a troll team historically for running backs, I am worried about Trayvon Henderson. I think I'm going to put it up to a 6 or 7 out of 10. Realistically, it's a 7 out of 10 just for the fact that you paid a 3rd round pick, maybe a 4th round pick, depending when you drafted. So you're invested heavily in Trayvon Henderson. You can't start him. You can't start Trayvon until we see him out there for more than 35% of the snaps. So I'm scared about Trayvon Henderson, man, and I don't know when it's going to get better. I think he's got a high ceiling, but you need somebody put a hit out on Ramondre Stevenson, and please do it quick. Travis Hunter, we got to talk about. I already mentioned him earlier in the video. I'm really it's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10 here. You're not too worried about it, but the thing I am worried about, he's getting this 7 targets per game. That's not bad. You're worried that he's increasing his snaps on defense. But what I'm most worried about here, it's not Diamond Brown. It's fine. Travis Hunter has the draft capital. He's automatically wide receiver 2 when he wants to be. I'm worried about the depth of target. 3 or 4 yards per target is not very good. I want to see some downfield threats rather than this little Mickey Mouse. I mean, Michael Thomas was a good slant boy for high PPR targets. This guy's only getting 6 or 8 targets a game, so I would rather have a couple shots like Quentin Johnston, who's getting 7 targets a game, but one of them's 100 yards, rather than Travis Hunter, who's getting 6 little, catch and then tackled 3-yard routes. So that's why I'm concerned here about Travis Hunter, and I'm worried about his role in the offense moving forward. I'm not too worried, 5 or 6 out of 10. Better days ahead. Last name of the video is Pacheco. I was high on Pacheco coming into the year. I was. I may have been wrong. And maybe this is crazy. Everyone is probably 10 out of 10 panicked on him. I think it might be a buy low. I think it might be, but I'm going to say 5 out of 10 panic. Realistically, it might be a 9 out of 10. You might have to be super worried here. The role hasn't looked good. He hasn't looked good. But they might have no choice. This is going to be a good Chiefs team when you get Rashee Rice back. I get that Worthy is out. At some point, is the veteran, agey, dusty Kareem Hunt going to be sustainable for the entire season? Or are they just kind of, reducing Pacheco's workload for maintenance, which isn't fantasy conductive, but at some point I think they're going to give this guy the football. I just can't see. I don't know, man. It's not Kareem Hunt. It can't be Kareem Hunt's show. Maybe he's a pest, but I think Pacheco gets more involved as the season goes. Here it is. First ever Panic-orama. I think that's what we'll call it. Panic-orama? Comment down below what you want. Please smash the like and subscribe button, boys. Thanks for watching.